So let's talk about the 31 band limiter. What are the advantages to that? Can you explain that in fairly simple terms that maybe even a station manager might be able to get?
Sure. Everyone loves HD television. More lines of resolution means a better picture. Well, in the 31 band limiter, more bands of limiting means the audio is spread out and limited in very small sections, which the ear cannot perceive. So what we've done is we've actually allowed a limiter to actually control peaks without controlling the overall sound of the audio in a specific way. For instance, if we have audio that needs to be limited at 125 hertz, and a lot of people love bass, on the Aurora, that band, that spectrum is limited there, and everything around it is allowed to pass through untouched. In a more traditional audio processor, all the other bass has to be limited along with that information at 125 hertz.
Makes sense.
So it really leads to a more open sound, and less of the audio is actually affected by the limiter because we've split it up. Many hands make light the work.
Mike, how does all of this processing work together? Because we talked in a separate video about voice processing.
Right.
And if you're doing a lot of processing on the mic, how does that then work with the air processor? How does it all fit together?
Actually, that's pretty easy, and there's actually two ways to look at it. The first way is that every single element that you play on your radio station that's not the voice has been in some way mastered. Even if it's an older recording that has a lot of dynamic range, it's been through a mastering process. Commercials have been through some sort of mastering processing level. The only thing that is the wild card is the human voice. The human voice can be very loud, it can be very soft, and without a mic processor, there's nothing to make the loud and the soft come together. So if you add mic processing, now you've mastered in real time the talent's voice to make it blend easy with everything else, regardless of whether even older processors, regardless of whether or not the processor has the smarts to determine whether a song has a lot of dynamic range or an element doesn't have dynamic range. Processing the microphone puts the voice in the zone with all the elements around it. So you're not pegging the meters and increasing amplitude on the voice and then having a processed song or commercial element or image come in afterwards that has much more limited dynamic range. So adding mic processing to the mix of the human voice controls that, and is basically like a real-time master. We can't, master voice when it's live like we can master a recording, a song or something else. So we need intelligent tools that can master voice efficiently and easily to go along with the other mastered elements that are on the air.